Hey everybody, it's Daphne at Lure Entertainment. We are sitting down with former WWF wrestler, Mr. Kenny Hendrix. How you doing, Kenny?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
So, what have you been up to, Kenny?
As usual, I'm in the gym pretty much all week long. That's after the job. And speaking of the job, we've been in contract negotiations for a new contract, and it's we have to meet up again because we got some things resolved, but we still have a few more particulars to figure out. And it's actually going pretty well. Nobody's yelling, nobody's screaming. Everybody's cordial. And the last day, we were in the meeting for like 13 hours. They ended up, HR ended up getting us pizzas so we can. They were trying to smooth us over probably, but everybody's pretty cool. So, but yeah,
So, let me ask you a question.
sure.
How did you go from wrestling to acting?
It's uh it's kind of a it's kind of a neat story because Chris Hahn, who's also a wrestler and did a little bit of time for the WWF slash WWE, he actually retired probably about maybe 6, 7 years ago, roughly. And he's been acting probably 2, 3 years prior. So, anyways, he brings uh, a film director maker, Gary Jones, to one of our wrestling matches in Mansfield. That's the ASWA group in Mansfield, and he sees all these characters. He sees myself, he sees Jimmy Lee, Jacob Ryan, a lot of characters, and Mike Collins. And he says, Jesus, I can make a movie. I have a lot of characters there. And so he ended up putting us in his movie, which was called Escape from Death Block 13, which was made in Mansfield.
Who was in that movie?
Uh, they had a guy from Hungary who was the main character. He looks like, I forget the guy's name, the guy from Death Wish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all those movies, but his name is Robert Kovacs. They
Call that.
call him Bronzy, uh, which I think was the real guy's name, Bronzy or something like that. But he was in this. Let's see, one of the guys from NCIS, one of those cop shows. Freddie Boom Boom Washington from Welcome Back, Otter. Uh, and again, a lot of us wrestlers were in there as well.
So, what made you want to become an actor?
I never knew I could become one, to be honest with you. I mean, it all stems from how wrestling started. I never knew I could become a wrestler. But again, Chris Hahn, he sort of gave us our chance to put our foot in the door. And once I finished with that movie, I was able to get on with a couple other local projects here in Cleveland, and it's now become a passion, and I want to pursue that. As my time winds down from wrestling, I'm looking into and I'm getting more into acting. I need something to replace wrestling by,
Yeah.
something with less body slams, so to speak.
But yet you continue to do stunts. So how are you going to avoid the body slams if you're doing stunts?
With stunts, you tend to do those in movies probably maybe once or twice every few months or so. And but with wrestling, it's usually every other weekend. What people don't realize, wrestling it is what it is, But what people don't realize is wrestling in a match. It's like a car crash. It's a car wreck, and we put our bodies through these car wrecks multiple times a night, 2, 3 times a month, or whatever. Sometimes on the weekends. And so it's very hard on your body. So it starts again. I may do a movie, whatever, once a month, once every other month, whatever the case is. Then I can relax. So
let's break the conspiracy right now because this is something that we had talked about before.
Oh boy.
And I told you, remember what I told you about I used to watch wrestling years ago, but then I it was fake. So I stopped watching it. So tell us, for the people who really do think it's fake, like myself, I was one of those included, about how it all just goes down.
Daphne, you're my manager. I appreciate you taking me aboard, but I am sworn to secrecy.
Well,
Um,
damn, you can whistle blow, huh? But
we'll have to take
okay,
this
let's
off
let's
air.
get
You
one
know what I'm
answer.
saying?
You said it's real because you guys are actually fighting. But I've also heard from other people, not you, I won't call you out on it, but I've heard from other people that do the same thing and we're part of the same people that there is basically a storyline when wrestling, even though those people are still basically getting the shit kicked out of them. Correct. You can yes or no it. I'm cool with that.
Let's see. What do they say in the mob? They say that term. That's what I was led to believe, or something like that. Um, I'll say this: there are things to make it more entertaining, but as far as the body slams, the kicks, the hits, falling out of the ring, jumping from the top rope, taking all the hits, it's very much real.
Okay. That's all we needed to know. It's good enough for me. I won't call people out too much on some stuff, but I got to make it interesting, because there are people out there. Like I used to watch it faithfully, and then I don't know if it was like my brother's friend from years ago or something told me, oh, no, 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 that's fake. And I'm just like, well, hell, that just ruins it for me because then at that point, I didn't want to watch it, and then I found out some of it's real, some of it, but we'll get off that topic, either or.
Yeah, you know what? I tell you what, we are trying to make it entertaining. We want to make ourselves. We want to make the whole match look good. So you do try to make yourself look good, and things that happen in the ring can somehow have an effect on you out of the ring. Like I try to make myself look good in a match to whatever get noticed, and that has worked, and it has led to acting. So it's very much real, you know.
So, being in the industry, you got anything coming up? Like anything? Any new projects? What's going on with you?
Actually, yeah. Thursday, I was a part of a movie late last year, around September or October. The movie's called Awaken, and it's about a black activist who wants to open up a school for um, unfortunate kids, like in the neighborhood or whatever. So I play his bodyguard. So I'm in some scenes from that. That opens up Thursday up here in Mayfield, Ohio, a suburb off of Cleveland. So that's coming up. Another local project called The Last Song, Maxie's Revenge. That's supposed to start shooting in April. And I got that part from being in a movie called Dark Ether right over my shoulder right here. We did that a couple of years ago. And that movie was released last year from another Cleveland filmmaker. And so he liked me a lot, so he casted me in this. He called me like in December or January, and so we're going to start shooting that in April. And of course, Shattered Dreams. And
Yeah.
once again, I got to thank Chris Hahn for and his wife Beth for sort of looking at the part, looking at the role, and saying, "Hey, maybe this might be a part for Kenny. Let's check with Daphne and see what she thinks." Now, I know I had to send you a couple of clips from other movies that I've done, and here we are.
Yeah, it was. I had put somebody else in the role originally, and it just, in my mind, it didn't fit. It didn't fit. Just the same way I was looking at specific leads out there that I was interested in. And when I seen them on TV, watching them on TV, it's not a fit. And the person I'm looking for to actually play Leslie's character, because I mean, I can talk about this because, it's my movie. So the person I was actually looking for, they have to fit. It has to be a fit. And
Right.
I've been struggling, like I told you, as far as with the casting in my mind. I've been going through IMDb's and everything else, seeing if possibly they're the same height, close to the same height that he was, because he was 6'5", 6'7" at the age of 6,
Leslie Boss was?
he was.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's got to be, even though some of it can be adjusted with the cameras, we
Yeah.
that, but I have it all in my head about the way the people I'm putting in these roles or the people I want for these roles. And I am having such a hell of a time trying to figure out who I want, you know what I mean, for
Right.
specific roles. And I don't know, it's hard when it comes to that. And you've got a movie that you know that everybody's going to love this movie, but
Right.
you've got it in your head and people aren't fitting. You have to go with what's telling you to go. You know what I
I
mean?
got you.
Out of
Right.
but it's gonna be a good movie. You're gonna have fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. When we did that Zoom meeting with him, so I was able to see him on the Zoom, and I was very intrigued by his story. I follow him on social media, just to see what's happening. And I've been watching a lot of movies on Netflix about wrongfully convicted men, and then they were proven they're innocent like 10, 20 years later. I
Yeah.
mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, the thing about Leslie's story though, and like I said once, I can blow the whistle on it, is there's more to his story. And that's what I've talked to people about because they're like, everybody, somebody's went to jail for stuff they haven't done, and it happens. Yeah, okay, yeah, I get that. Those stories are out there every single day. But I'm not going to say exactly what it is until people actually watch the movie, but
Right.
there was something being hidden for the fact of why he went to jail. So, I'm not going to ruin it, by going into that part of it.
Understood.
It's not a
Mm.
story that anybody else has, and I would bet on that. I would definitely bet on that.
Yeah, yeah.
What makes it rare, and that's kind of why when I took over on that story and we've written it and everything else, there's not another story like that. If there is, then they've got that under lock and key for legal reasons, I'm sure. But I mean,
Mm.
it's gonna be a good movie, and everybody should be interested in it, and watching for it because we're getting ready. We're amping up to film, and it's
Yeah, yeah. I screenshotted my lines on my phone so I can look at them, when I'm on the job, and if I'm at an account, I may say a few lines just to see what kind of reaction I'll get. I don't say them too loud though, but I like to practice them. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I like that. People who actually rehearse because sometimes you work with these actors and they don't know their lines, and you have to start reading, especially when you were given the script a while back, you know? So there is no reason why when you walk in, you should not know your lines at all.
Right.
I mean, with the acting coach that I had from acting, she had told me that Anthony Hopkins reads his scripts 125 times.
Mm.
125 times over and over and over. Yes, and there is other things that you have to do to be able to get yourself into character. But
Sure.
you also gotta be able to bring yourself out of character, which
Right.
is
Right.
a lot of actors, they struggle, because they'll get into character, like, for example, Heath Ledger. He
Mm.
locked himself from what I've heard, locked himself, away for a month and a half or a couple of months before he had did the role that he was in, that Batman movie, and did the Joker. and then he was hanging out with the people on the streets, and he just couldn't bring himself out of the role, and you
Right.
gotta learn how to separate the 2 because it's not easy, you know?
Oh,
It's
I
not
bet. I bet.
it's
I'm a big fan of Robert De Niro, and he's known for getting in his character and staying in it at least while he's filming the movie, you know.
yeah,
And so, yeah, yeah.
he cracks me up. I swear to I've watched oh my god, what was it? I know I watched the one he did with Zac Efron, Dirty Grandpa, I think that's what that was.
Oh, yeah,
That
yeah. I heard
movie
about
was
that.
funny as hell, and then he did this one with this little boy I was watching, oh my god, that was, like, 2 months ago, where him and this little kid went to war. He was the grandpa, and the kid, they went at it in the movie. Is so funny. I'm like, "Oh my god," I couldn't picture him doing that kind of a role because it was just interesting to watch him with the little kid, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It cracked me up. He does some funny shit, I swear. Especially from going from mobster to,
Oh,
you know,
yeah. I
dirty
mean,
grandpa.
Casino,
Wait,
Godfather, the movie. I love Heat. Heat is just so intense. You know, I watched that movie and I memorized those lines in my head too because his character is just so man, so intense. It's precise. You know, he's so careful.
have you watched The Offer yet?
No,
You need to watch that.
he's in there.
Um,
Robert.
no, he's not in there, but The Offer, it's on Paramount, and, it's basically about them making the movie The Godfather,
Oh, okay.
and that's what they're doing. They're literally making the movie The Godfather, and but yet they're filming the show The Offer, and it was all the making of The Godfather. I was hooked
Oh,
on an episode, and every time I had to wait for an episode because you know how you get into them series and you gotta
yeah.
I hate that shit. So I'm sitting there waiting for this, finally I gave up like 3 or 4 weeks. No, I think it was like 4 weeks in. I'm like, I don't want to watch any more of it until they're all out, damn it. You know what I mean? That way there I can watch
Yeah.
at the same time. And it was like that with Tulsa King. That's another good one.
Okay. Okay.
Sylvester
Heard
Stallone's
about that.
a badass man at 80 years old.
Oh, all right. I'll have to check it out.
An ass, I'm telling you, he's funny. For real. So, okay, moving on with that. How long was you with the WWF?
um, you know, I started. I had my tryout in '91, and how that began. I've been in the gyms for a little while, like 30 plus years, whatever. Anyways, I'm at the gym and you know people, you know of them, but you don't really know what they're into. So one Saturday morning,
Mhm.
November of 1990, I'm watching Saturday morning WWF TV and I see a buddy from the gym in the ring, Ron Cumberledge.
Mhm.
Like, wow, that's my buddy Ron. That's what I want to do. So Monday comes around after work. Everybody goes to the gym on Monday. Ron had his crew around him, so I had to wait my turn. Once that happened, I said, Ron, you look great. How do you do that? How do you get on TV? How do you get into wrestling? He's like, well, you got to go to practice. You got to come down to training and all that stuff. And I said, well, let's go. Let's how do you do it? Let's just get started. He's like, well, this is around November, so the holidays are coming up. He said, let's go after the holidays, and then it'll be better then. So we went down in January of '91, and I walked into this Tales of the Crypt building that was dark and grungy and leaks in the ceiling. And there's, I'm like, the ropes were like really ropes. I'm like, where's the lights and the cameras? Where's like the nice decorated ring? This is not the WWF. You know, that's where it all starts, right? That's the training, and our trainer was Charlie Fulton, and he was a part of the Monster Factory out in Jersey. He brought the Monster Factory brand to Marion,
Yeah.
and so after I had my tryout, Charlie liked me. He says, "Well, if you want to join, it's going to be about $3,800." I'm like, I'm not sure if I want to pay $3,800 for this, you know. So I was unsure. So I waited a couple of years, but in the meantime, I kept seeing Ron on TV. I met Chris Hahn in '91, so I saw him on TV, as well. I'm like, well, you know what? I got to get things started. So I called him up in January of '93. I said, hey, Charlie, I want to join. I want to get started. And he's like, well, it's only $1,800 now. He broke off from the Monster Factory. I forget what happened. And then, so I went to practice. I drove to Marion, Ohio, 2 times a week, 5-hour round trip. That's how bad I wanted this. And 6 months later, basically, Charlie gives us a call. He says, hey, WWF is coming to town. They're going to be in Columbus, and I'm just going to send you down there. So me and like 5 other guys went down there, and then we did our thing. So that's kind of how the ball got rolling. And whenever they came to town, like 2 or 3 times a year, he would call us. They would call Charlie, and Charlie would call us. We would go down and do the shows. We would do the matches, whether it be Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, basically the kind of like tri-state area. So
So that does sound like fun, but paying $38 to go get beat up somewhere. I mean, I'm not saying that you're gonna get beat up, but come on, you're gonna get hit with something. You know what I mean? Eventually, and in that type of work. So I mean, like basically in that movie with Jim Carrey where he's kicking his own ass in the bathroom. You
oh
know,
yeah, 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 yeah. Liar, liar.
it's funny.
Yeah. I mean, they really paid us well. Granted, for 10 minutes worth of work, and it wasn't even 10 minutes in the ring. It's really a long day, but they film like 3 different shows in like 5 hours. So we are there like all day.
Wow.
From when we first walk in, my first time walking into the Columbus Convention Center, I walk into the Undertaker. And I knew he was tall on TV, but to see him in person, he's like 7'5". He just gave that image. Then walk around the corner, you see Sergeant Slaughter, and you start to see a few more. And what Charlie said, don't act like a fan. Don't bother them. That's their job. They know what they have to do. So we acted professional. We did our job. Let them do their job, and that's how it went. So that happened for about from '93 to about '97 or so. There's still some of my matches on YouTube, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
So
That's how I felt when I worked with Tyler Perry, when I went
okay,
down there for that show, because I knew he looked tall on TV, but I never really paid attention to how tall he was. And
right,
when I got down there and like he was standing right there, and I'm just looking up like, oh my God, you are tall as hell. I didn't say that, but damn it, I was thinking it.
right, right.
Like, you're tall, man. Because you get standing by those tall people and you're just like, and then you feel short as hell. You know?
Yeah, yeah. And that's I remember being backstage, even when Hogan walked in. Hogan's sort of can he was able to come and go as he pleased because he's Hulk Hogan. Uh, but when he came in, there's just this aura around him at the time. There was like, man, there's the Hulkster. There he is. He slammed Andre the Giant. In Detroit. So, but yeah, it was a great experience. I mean, it's just
He looks like my dad.
Hogan. Oh wow, okay.
Show you a picture of my real dad.
Yeah,
Well,
you'll have to show a
my
picture.
only dad, but I mean, like when we get off, I'll show you a picture. Uh,
Yeah,
and but my dad was a musician. So if he had arms like this and the blonde hair, like the blonde hair, like Hogan did, oh my,
right.
he could be his stunt double. I swear. Not
Mm.
now, maybe, but back then, yeah. Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
remember that ideal we talked about? We could do some
Yeah,
makeup.
the
You
arm
could have seen
wrestling.
Hendrix take on the older Hulk Hogan. And slam him down.
I don't think my dad would do pretty good in that one, no, I'm telling you. 'Cause he's a little older now, so I don't think that would happen,
I'm always thinking about ideals. I am. So
but the arm wrestling, I'm down. We should definitely write that one, I'm telling you. Nobody can get us. I mean, we might have to change a little bit about the name, but,
yeah,
the senior citizens of wrestling.
you never know. I mean, it
Hey,
just
you
takes
don't
one
know.
little
Old
thing.
people can whip some ass, I'm telling you. Like, Chuck Norris is still out there whipping ass, and you know that, all these older people, yeah, I don't put nothing past anybody anymore.
Well,
And
I
Del
wouldn't mess with them at
was a
all.
boxer.
Yeah.
He was a boxer. So I bet he still whips some ass too. We'll let him in too. Come on. We'll get
Right.
him alone. We'll get them all.
Exactly.
Senior citizens.
Let's do it.
Raw, there you go. We'll change it up. But we got a good idea. I think we should do it. And if anybody tries to take that idea, it is now copywritten by Laura Entertainment. You do not own the rights to that.
Right. Lock, stock, and barrel. We have it.
Right. I think that would be fun.
I mean, from the training, see if they can still hack it. Us older people, you know.
It's a fair advantage. It's the same way, like in boxing, you've got your heavyweight, you've got the middleweight, and then your the lighter people, you know.
Yeah,
So
I'm
hey,
sure Chris would be down for it too.
right?
Chris Hahn would be down for it too.
Hey, yeah. Oh, I'm
He's
sure
good on the voice.
he's game.
Oh yeah.
Chris is game. He's pretty much down for whatever. He don't care. He's like me. I don't care either. I do some. I'm not even gonna lie. I do crazy shit all the time. But it's fun.
That's
Why?
what we do. Why
Yeah,
not?
exactly. So, where do you think you're going to be in 5 years?
5 years. It's kind of funny you asked it because in negotiations they want a 5 year contract. We want a 3 year contract. So that's one of the things we're debating on. But in 5 years, I'd love to be able to do acting full time, acting and or stunts. You
Yeah,
know, I think I have a good foot in the door right now. I'm in the eyes of a few people, important people like yourself and others. Things are going in the right direction. I mean, how I started in wrestling from a small dungy ring training and then end up in the WWF for a little bit, this is heading that same direction. Hopefully I can sustain um, the acting career longer. The reason why wrestling dried up for us is because they had the Monday night rating for it with WCW and WWF.
yeah.
And so they had to put superstars against superstars. There is no need for us anymore, more or less.
I hate that when they do that. And I mean, I'm just gonna say
Oh, I
that
hated it too, but
when you have one show that's doing so good in the ratings, and then you want to come in, and I know what it is. It's the competition thing. But
exactly.
I mean, everybody can win if you just play your cards right. And they don't think about that. You know, you,
Right.
you just got to figure a strategy out to be able to succeed. Yeah, I get it. Everybody's wanting to make money, and you want your competition to not make more money than you. But I mean, damn, release it on a different night. Like, I don't understand football season. Okay. You got a game on Thursday, you got a game on Sunday, and then you got Monday. That's 3 days. Why? Why?
Money,
Pick a damn day. One
money.
day, you know? It
Did
just
you ever see the movie? Did you ever see the movie Concussion?
no.
Oh, it's a great, great movie about concussions. And they focus on the Steelers, but concussions overall, and it made me realize the power of the NFL. I mean, I have a little bit less respect. I still enjoy football, but it's not like a priority in a sense because the power that they control. It's just like you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, money. I mean, I'm not gonna say there are some awesome football players.
Oh yeah,
It's the people that I believe this is what I believe, that the people who actually own the leagues are the ones that are handling the who's who and who's winning and
mm,
BS. But I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. You know,
yeah, yeah.
you never know what's going on behind closed doors. You never know.
We were actually told, um, like through our channels from the WWF, that they didn't want us appearing on the WCW shows, getting beat up on there. I mean, we sort of got in, like I was in after Chris, so they were able to do both of them. And when we came down the line, and they said, we don't want, you got to pick one or the other. So our end was through Charlie through the WWF, so we stuck with that. But either way, they had no use for us. So that's kind of how those appearances sort of dried up. But I don't care. I had my time, my little bit in there, and it was just great, great experience.
You never know where you're gonna end up. Like, when I first started acting, when I first got into acting, I owned a cleaning and painting business, and I still love to paint, I'm not gonna lie. I love to paint.
Right, right.
Probably changed the color in this house, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 times, who knows? But I get bored at looking at something and then I gotta change it, you know? But
Sure.
I just it's one of those things where when I'm painting, I I blare my music and I'm gone for hours, and I won't finish until 2, 3, 3:30 in the morning, it doesn't matter because I'm in a zone. When
Right.
it's just like therapy to me, really. But you never know, you go from one profession to the other. Everybody's like, "Well, how did you go from that?" Honestly, I mean, it's the same thing I told you all, like, I put in for a casting call and I actually forgot about it because it was getting to be busy season doing what I'm doing, and I forgot about it. I forgot I sent the damn thing. Honestly, I did.
Right, right.
I read the email and I was like, "Wait a minute, I think they want me to come and help with a movie or something." And I had
Mhm.
reading it again, I read it like 10 times. I'm like, "Is this spam?" And then I remembered that I was up watching TV that night and I seen them say something about it and I submitted and it was like 1:30 in the morning. I was like half asleep submitting to the movie and that's why I forgot about it. But ever since I did the first movie, which I loved that movie, I had so much fun on that because we were in the mud. I don't care. I'm not afraid to get dirty. I don't care. Walk,
Yeah.
whatever. Um, and we were out there for 3 nights. Well, the set of people I was with anyway. We were out there for 3 nights in the cold. The first night it was pouring down rain, so it got so muddy, and then the next day, you were literally sinking into the mud, and I was cracking up, but it was kinda cold, so I took a blanket with me, in between
Yeah.
and that's when Tim Sutton we were going to the other part of it to film, and he was like, "You can take that with you." I'm like, "Oh, thank God." Because that night, the last night, oh, it was cold. I mean, it was probably about 15 degrees outside, and we were out there all night long in the cold.
Oh.
Yeah, and the only thing we had to warm up was, those little, burners that are probably like this big
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
around and they got like the little it looks like a gas burner, but there's nothing there really.
Right,
That's
right,
what
right.
we had to stand up. And I had a tank top and shorts on. I had my jacket with me, and luckily I got to wear that in that final scene, thank God, because
Uh,
I it was cold. Yeah. But I
there
had
was
so much fun.
there was when Death Block, when we did Death Block, me and Chris did, we had the first major fight scene,
Yeah.
and that lasted all day, and it was really one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. We kept doing the same fight scenes, different camera angles, different lenses, multiple times,
Yep.
and we had plans on, what, we're going to do this today, then we're going to go work out the next morning. That didn't happen. We were tired, you know.
It is tiring. Everybody's like, "Oh, acting's so glamorous. This industry's so."
Uh,
No, you think that because of what you see on the TV with the parties and the interviews and all that stuff. But if you're actually the people doing the job, it's a lot harder than you think it is. Trust me,
oh,
especially. Yeah.
yep. You got to deal with the elements. And after Death Block, I was in a movie called "Got to Get Down with It." It was filmed in Mount Vernon, and I was a policeman. I was a riot cop, and along with another actor cop, we were outside in the cold. I think it was Super Bowl Sunday, as a matter of fact. But I didn't care. My team wasn't in it, but it was cold. We had to stay outside, film some scenes, run back inside to warm up, come back out, redo it. But again, that's all a part of it. It's the way it is, and you got to deal with it if you want to be an actor. You got to do it.
It's over and over and over and over.
Right,
Same
right.
scene over and over. It's not just a one and done type situation. You could be there for hours shooting
Yeah,
something that you think would only take it's probably a whole minute of the movie, and you're going to be there for hours doing it over and over and over. Yeah, people don't get that, and they need to understand that, really, if they're thinking about even getting into this world.
well, it's kind of funny you mentioned that because that whole day of fighting, after we got down to it, in Death Block, we ended up doing 2 or 3 more days of fight scenes on a green screen. And Gary Jones, being the genius that he is, he puts those scenes in the movie, in the field that we were at. You would never know.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, how's that it's just crazy, but yeah, we had to put more fight scenes of the original fights in the movie, so that was in the same scene. It's amazing.
yeah. It's fun. I mean, it's fun, it's exhausting. I was on a set the other day, and I guess it's because I'm just not used to being on the sets right now because of, COVID happened and everything.
Right.
Filming's ramping back up finally, and then you just get out of your world and then you get back in, and I was so tired, so tired. Even the next day, I was so tired, and that
Yeah. Where's
normally
your out?
I'm just never like that, and I tell
Right.
you, it kicked my ass. It did, it kicked my ass.
It's a lot of work.
It's very tiring. So, I'm gonna ask you this, and I ask everybody your motto before we wrap up.
My model is, basically God willing, and I started saying that shortly after 2020 started because you had the tragic accident with Kobe Bryant and his daughter and the other passengers. You know, COVID hit, and there were a lot of people were passing because of that, and so we can make plans for whatever, you know, which is good to make plans. That's fine, but you have to say, you know, I like to say God willing, you know, and God willing, I can become a full time actor in 5 years. That's the plan. God willing, you know. So um, God willing, He'll give me a comedic role because that's kind of my natural character, you know. God willing, you know. Um, but whatever role I get, I'm grateful. I've been police officers. I've been a prisoner, detective, you know, and so I'm just grateful for all these roles that I get. Hopefully, it's going to lead to bigger roles and things like that. So my motto is God willing.
There you go. And I'll ask you another thing, one more thing before we close out. As
Sure.
far as genres, and I'll tell you mine after you tell me. What kind of acting do you see yourself doing? Dramatic, comedy, horror films?
Well, as far as horror films, here's another idea. Get a black guy that doesn't get killed in the first 10 minutes of a horror movie, you know? What a strange twist that could be, you know what I'm saying? You know? And have all the white people
We're
get
gonna
killed
make him
first,
the superhero.
and have all the white people get killed first, and have me in the end saving the day. See, that's my natural comedic
I
character.
remember us talking about that too.
That's
About
what I'm saying, you
yeah,
know?
it's
So,
always it always goes like that, and then it goes from there to the dumbass. It's always the girl, the
right.
one who doesn't use her friggin' brains, and those are the first 2 they take out automatically in the middle of
Yeah.
those horror telling you what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just make a movie where we reverse everything and have the black guy at the end standing tall, like you know, like whatever, you know. So, but I, you know, I'm a natural. I don't know about a lead role, but who knows? But I kind of see myself kind of as like the Morris Day, like in Purple Rain. Not a major role, but a lot of little parts in there. You remember all of his stuff. He was so funny.
Yeah.
So I think I'm a natural comedian, but again, I think I could play a serious role, cop, detective, or whatever the case might be. You know.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I have fun in all of it, but I can tell you the one that would really be hard for me. I mean, I don't think it might not. I don't know. I've never really done it, but it's more the lovey-dovey type bullshit that anybody
oh
who's
yeah,
ever been in a real relationship knows that, you're not going to really be like that in real life, especially if you've been with somebody. It's not, "Oh, baby, baby, baby." Can't do that. I'm sorry. I
right,
I don't even think I could bring myself to be in that because I am one of those basically independent type females to where I honestly don't think I would ever bow to anybody.
right,
And in the movies, when they write them scripts out, it's basically the woman, and I mean, this is no offense to men, but it's basically the woman kissing ass, and I'm just not that person. You know? And I don't see, like, I could play that. I could definitely play gangster. I could play cop. I can play, I ride a motorcycle. I can definitely do some stunt works and stuff like that, or that kind of, acting, any of that.
you're
But
right.
the lovey-dovey, that shit is not for me, I'm telling you. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I haven't had those roles yet, and you know, I don't know how I would do, but it's definitely the comedy, the comedian type, or
Yeah.
serious type.
I'm
I can
funny
go with
as
that.
hell. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie because I'll sit there and I'll come off with some of the craziest shit. So comedy would be easy with me, and I'm telling you, if I had that one opportunity, I could have been down there, but I couldn't get there. And Melissa McCarthy was shooting the Central Intelligence,
Oh,
and I am dying to work with that woman
okay.
because I love her. She's freaking hilarious. That would be one of the people I would love to work with, seriously. But comedy, yeah, I could do that easily,
Yeah,
the other stuff, it's just the lovey-dovey shit, I just really don't feel like I could get into that. They would definitely
understood.
somebody else, and I'd willingly give up the role, "Here you go. I can't do it. I can't do it," There's just no
Right.
in the back of my mind, while acting, I know what it would be. This is some bullshit. That's gonna be what's gonna be playing in my head, I just don't think I could do it. Uh,
Right, right.
for real, but we're gonna have fun, and, we'll get this movie shot. We've got quite a few other projects coming,
Yeah,
and
I was looking at my IMDb page and I was like, wow, there's some things in the works, so
there's 4 more things you all don't even know about yet that aren't even put up yet that
hey,
they're gonna like it.
I'm ready.
I'm working on a little bit of everything. But I am gonna go ahead and close us out, and we're gonna say bye to everybody and thank you for watching. And
One last thing, uh, nobody take the ideal of the black guy being the last guy standing in
that's
the
how I
horror
get too,
movies.
damn it. Now,
Yeah,
more
exactly.
entertainment.
Yeah.
Right, the horror movie where the black guy actually wins it all. That's our idea.
And stayed alive. Right, right.
And if you're wanting to make it, you get up with us and we'll help you.
There you go.
Right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Thank you for Kenny for coming on for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you. It was great.
Loved having you. And we are gonna go, you guys. Goodbye until next time.
Yeah, yeah, it's over, baby. You said that you love me, you said that you care. You say that you will die for me, girl, but you know that just hot air. I don't care what you say, I don't care what you do. No need to look to your left, girl, cause nothing belongs to you. Now you try me, you know you can't run them games on me. Now you creeping, I saw you stepping out with that G, yeah. Say what you wanna say, do what you wanna do, play how you wanna play. It's over, it's over, it's over. Say what you wanna say, do what you wanna do, play how you wanna play. It's over, you know it, you know it, you know it, you know it. No more playing with my mind. something from me. It's time to set your whole heart free.